Welcome, welcome race fans to another episode of the GT3 Challenge from East to West Racing. This is Ron in the booth tonight from Bigg Wizurd TV, and we've got live racing action for you in the GT3 Challenge here with East to West Racing, sponsored by Stair Fittings Incorporated. We have 16, looks like 16 drivers out here so far on the racetrack, getting some laps in for practice. About a minute and a half to go. This is the GT3 Challenge, and this is week... What week are we? We are well into this. This is week 14 of 17. There's only 4 more races counting this one, and the points are as follows. Brandon Dooley at the lead with a 560 point lead over second place Josh Baling. Followed by Kevin Robinson, Emmett Lindquist, Jason Rabe, Rich Hibbs, Philip Scott, Richard Wishon, Kevin Cantonio, and Morgan Teggy in the top 10. A few drivers I don't see on the racetrack, namely Morgan Teggy, not out there tonight. He won't be trying to improve his spot. Has missed quite a few races this season, but tonight, race 14 is the pivot point. You get 13 races to count. So those that have raced every week will start getting drops this week. And I don't think anyone has hit them all, because you'd have to have 39 on the chart, and the highest we have is 36 by a few drivers. But the individual championship currently being led by Brandon Dooley, and he is not at the limit, so he's still going to be gaining some points. Practice is up. We're going to start up with qualifying here. Fast driver Kevin Cantonio in practice, 139.5. He's the only driver to get into the 139s in practice. We'll see if that changes in qualifying, as these guys will drop some fuel and see if they can get the cars a little quicker. Out they come onto the racetrack here as we get started. This is Circuit de Jerez, Angel Nieto in Spain. And these guys are ready to rock and roll. Everybody rolling out onto the racetrack right now. And we'll get another driver joined us. We'll go down through the rundown here of who's where and who's fast, as these guys are a little quicker. We just had our GT3 Contender Series, sponsored by JNR Craftworks. We just had that on here on Bigg Wizurd TV just moments ago. Finished up with Tyler Greger, just returned from active duty, and he is back behind the wheel and running very quickly tonight. Not quite as quick as these guys in the GT3 Challenge. Good to have everybody on board. Thanks for tuning in. Breezy's out there. Hey Breezy, good run last race. P2 for you in that last one, and all the little go-go's are run out in your camp, because you're not on the track. So good to have you here with us on the broadcast. Let's see who we're going to watch. Should we watch one of these quick ones out here? We got Rich Hibbs on the track. Here's Brandon Dooley. Brandon in the familiar colors of the DRS SimSport BMW, with the gray and black, purple, green colored BMW. Pretty much the same car he's been driving every week all year long. Josh in the familiar yellow and green. That's the 911 with a little bit of chrome on it. And then in third in the points is Kyle Robinson. Now Kyle's got a new paint job this weekend. I don't think he's been running that red car. Maybe he was. I wasn't in the booth last couple weeks, but Kyle in the red Porsche 911 GT3R. As these guys are getting their warm-up lap in, and now they're starting their first lap. Here's a quick one here. Adam Novotny in the 326, always fast. Adam is always quick in qualifying. Keep an eye on him as he goes around through turn 5. Long right-hander, and then down the big hill into turn 6. Let's drop into the, see if we can watch him from inside the car as he dives into the brakes here, hard on the brakes. Down to first gear, is it? Second gear, going around the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Flat out through this left-hander. then has to hit the binders a little bit, drop down to third for this left-hander, and then he'll go into one of the tougher corners I was missing quite often on this racetrack. Right on the apex he goes, and then the last the second of the two right-handers, 9 and 10. And then we go into the chicane here at Jerez. This chicane is pretty tight. He's going over the bumps using every inch of pavement. Painted, unpainted, anything else he can get. As long as he doesn't get it off track, he's there. Down into the final left-hander before the start-finish line, tight to the apex, on the gas as early as possible. And here he goes. Let's see what kind of times these guys are dropping. As Brandon with a 140.9, Adam with a 140.7. Kevin just goes by. No time for Kevin. Jason Rabe, 140.9, 141.3, 141.3. A lot of times really close together, half a second now for the first 5 drivers across the stripe with the time recorded. We're ready to rock and roll. 10 minutes left in this session. Now they only get 6 laps, so you'll see a lot of them do the 3 laps. This is they do an out lap plus 2, and then they'll come in the pits and they'll get a new set of tires and try it again. Usually you're going to get your best times within the first couple laps out there. Not going to take forever to get that quick one. Couple of viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. Let me know who you are, where you're at, and we'll throw you in here in the broadcast. As we're talking about the broadcast, I want to put a big shout out to our sponsors, Stair Fittings Incorporated, Stair Fittings Inc. For your stair needs, they've got everything you need. They've got the accessories, they've got parts, they've got the stairs, the treads, the aprons, all the handrails, and everything that goes along with them. As we see Kyle Robinson just drop down a 140.4, taking over the top spot. And then Kevin Cantonio with his 139.9. The first driver into the 139s. He was the only driver in practice in the 139s. We'll see if he can be the only one here. If that's the case, he has the pole. But right now, provisional pole to the number 5, Kevin Cantonio. Also sponsoring tonight's action here on Bigg Wizurd TV. We have Stair Fittings Incorporated as our primary sponsor. Also, our sponsor, Grandpa's Kitchen. Grandpa's Kitchen makes they make gluten-free flour. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense because flour is not gluten-free, but they make a 1-to-1 substitute for gluten-free flour. You can bake anything you want to bake with Grandpa's Kitchen flour substitute. It's a 1-to-1 replacement, so if you need 1 cup of flour, you can put 1 cup of Grandpa's Kitchen in there. And these guys know gluten-free. I'm telling you what, they know it well. They live gluten-free. They are gluten-free. Great friends of mine, and I'll tell you what, I've had almost everything you can make with flour. Bread, rolls, muffins, cookies, cakes, lots of different kinds of cakes, brownies, all kinds of stuff. It's all great. You can check them out at grandpaskitchen.com. JNR Craftworks also sponsoring tonight's activity. We have all kinds of little things you can get for your house. They have decorations, they have ornaments, they have the trophies, they have all kinds of things. They help us out here in the league with our season-ending trophies. Great group of guys over there. One of our very own drivers, Jeff Wyatt, principal of JNR Craftworks. He's the J in JNR Craftworks. And good stuff. Always love the products he makes. He has wood products. He can do acrylics. He can do t-shirts. He can do all kinds of stuff. He can even dye sub plaques and trophies, and just lots of neat products that he has. Check him out, jnrcraftworks.com. So, Kevin, 139.990, still on the top. Kyle just went in. Got some new tires. Coming back out on his out lap now, seeing if he can take that one off and seeing if he can get that top spot. He right now is less than 100, less than a tenth of a second away. He's got 2/100ths of a second, the gap right now between first and second on that podium, on that pagoda. Trying to get onto the top. He's halfway around on his out lap. Right now we have the 974, Richard Wishon, always quick, Richard is. Coming across the stripe now, we'll see if he can improve. He's currently a 141.3, about a second back, a little over a second back from the leaders. Does not improve that time around. And we have the next group coming through as Josh comes out but stops on the exit of pit lane. Adam Novotny comes out of the pits. Not sure what happened to Josh. He was out and then he went back in. Kevin Cantonio in the Taco Bell white and pink Porsche 911.
Microphone check.
And there's our race control. Kevin starting his lap. Kyle starting his lap. 5 minutes to go. These guys have 2 laps to lock it down and get it all done. Ryan running back in the path. There's Greg Prochnow off the racetrack. Let's see what we got going on here. As we watch Adam come around, finishing up his lap. Adam's on an out lap, so we don't need to watch that one. Richard trying to get his lap in, see if he can improve on the 141.3. Comes across the stripe. 141.167 moves him up to 7th place. And that'll be it for him. Alex coming out to try one more time. Oh, and Kevin loses it on that lap. He is going to park it. That's it. Unless he thinks he can get one more out lap. Looks like he's going to try. Most of these guys are off the racetrack. Rich Hibbs is still out there. Brandon Dooley's still out there. Brandon just finished his last lap. Top speed for him, 140.653, 2/100ths of a second behind Jason Ray. Says they got 6 laps, but because they started the start-finish line here at Jerez is right in front of the pit line, so you only get 5 laps to get your laps in. So it didn't quite work out. But Kevin has held back one. He has the point, and he is one of the only ones still out there. Brandon's still running, but he has gone past. He is on lap 7 of 6, so he is done. Here comes Kevin on the out lap, number 5. He should get one more chance at this if we can watch him go around. Michael Mooney also out there in the number 88, not currently in the top 10 in his Ferrari.
Mic check. Sounds good. Thanks, Rick. And Rick.
That's our race control. Jaden in our race control booth, keeping track of things out here for our 17 drivers on the racetrack. He is in the booth and taking care of his stuff. We've got race control every week here in the GT3 challenge. We have all the drivers have to kind of be nice to each other. They don't have to self-police here. They have to actually drive it correctly and not wreck each other. You gotta be respectful of the other drivers out here on the racetrack. That's the #1 rule here at
15 left in qualifying.
East to West Racing. One minute left. 1 minute left. I think this is it. This is the last lap for Kevin. This is his lap 6 of 6, and he is coming across the line. He cannot improve his position because he's on the pole. Does he improve his time is the question, and he does. 139.717, pulling a near 3/10 gap from Kyle Robinson. Jason Rabe and Brandon Dooley on row 2. Adam Novotny, Josh Bailing will be on row 3. Richard Wishaw and Emmett Lindquist will be on row 4. Rich Hibbs and Greg Prochnow on row 5.
Very good. 20 seconds.
Looking pretty good for these guys. Kevin is currently ninth in the points, has not been able to get a lot of the races, so he does have a few wins on the season. So if Kevin's out there and Kevin's quick, he can gain a lot of points here with the last few races in the season. He's got 4 to go, so all 4 races for him will count. But he is 1,400 points off the lead, but that is only 4 races. If he wins every one of the next 4, he can compete for that championship, or at least try for the podium. Some of these other guys still have races to go as well. We are lining up for the start. Watching our leader, Kevin, on the point as they're getting ready to go. Bernie up on the right there in the flag stand. He is getting ready. We'll see the timing timing
to Sunday night. To our Heat 1.
In just a minute.
Have a nice clean race here, guys. Have a good time.
That's our race control. He is watching for incidents and damage to each other on the racetrack, and he will make a decision. Sometimes that drops to a
I'm straighten.
Sometimes that drops into a black flag where they have to do a drive-through. And we'll see how that comes out. We got a couple drivers still not on the grid, waiting for Tyler, waiting for Josh, waiting for Emmett to jump in their car. They do have a couple minutes to do this. They get a little bit of a break. I think it's 2 minutes to get in the car and on the track. But they can miss this. And if they do, they have to start from the pit lane. It's got to be getting close. 15 minutes on the clock. I think it's either 9 or 10 laps on the race. 9 laps. 9 laps on the race. Information on the screen for those new to Bigg Wizurd TV. We've got the timer on the top right in the session. Heat 1's our sprint race. Top left is going to show you the lap counter. And across the top, it'll show you who we're looking at, their car number, what kind of car they're in. And also, here we go, getting ready for the green. And here's Bernie with the flag. There he goes. Green flag is out. The cars are gone. And Kyle Robinson with a great jump off the line gets in front of Kevin Cantonio. That's Brandon Dooley along the outside, trying to make it too wide through turn 1. And they're too wide all the way through the racetrack as Kyle Robinson takes the point. Kevin Cantonio takes P2, followed by Brandon Dooley, and then that's Josh and Jason, the teammates there for Dad Bod Racing in positions 4 and 5. We've got Adam Novotny battling with Emmett Lindquist for P6. Kevin out front in the Porsche, followed by, or Kyle out front in the Porsche. Kevin in second spot. Here comes Brandon in P3. We're watching this battle here for the lead. It looks like Rich Hibbs had a bad start. He has gone to the back of the pack. Something happened to Rich. We can probably try to find that, but we'll miss out on this early action up front if I go poking through. The field is tight. Everybody right together. The action is really stiff here in the middle. Let's go through to the center of the race circuit here. We've got, here comes Emmett Lindquist. He's trying to get around Jason Rabe. And he's battling for it through the chicane. That gives Adam a little bit of an edge as they go through the center. Jason holds that position, and he is going to stay in fifth for now. Emmett in the purple and black Porsche. Not the pink and black, but the purple and black Porsche. Right now in P6. Julian, hey man, nice to see you. It's been a long time since I've been able to chat with you. Thanks for joining the chat. Thanks for watching the stream. We've got some great racing action for you here tonight, so I hope you enjoyed the show. Vortex, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. The drivers in the GT3 Challenge are definitely faster and can really throw down the speeds. I also am not that great at this racetrack, so I jumped out on this one and let these professionals handle it. I'll just hang out here in the booth. Just chill here in the booth, having a good time. Let's jump back here to Richard and see what's going on here in the field. I think, let's see, we got Richard Wishon here in the familiar white and purple Audi. He's running in 8th position. Staying in front of Greg Prochnow there in the multicolored Porsche behind him, trying to keep up with Adam Novotny. Adam, champion of our Thursday night series in the Formula 4s last season, coming around in 7th spot right now. Kyle Robinson's still out front. The battle for the point is still strong. We did have an incident with Rich Hibbs early on, but I can't go back that far without causing a big mess. So Rich Hibbs has caught the back of the field. Let's see if we can see if he has any damage to the car. Oh, major damage. He's got some major damage. He's right here behind Alex Good. And he's in 15th position. And Alex in 14th. He's got a bunch of cars in front of him, still running some fairly decent laps, but Rich not going to be happy with the first part of this race. He's going to go probably until this is the heat. So, oh, and Jason Rabes is back. Jason Rabe has dropped. Let's see if we can see what happened to Jason. Contact. That's contact. That's Emmett Smith. Emmett Lindquist running into the back of Jason there. That will be a penalty for sure. As we go back up to the front and back to live, Kyle Robinson out at the point in the 28 car. We'll wait for race control to drop down a ruling on that one, but that certainly looked to me like a penalty. These guys using all the racetrack, everything painted, everything not painted, they're using as they're running every inch of the track here tonight. Kyle Robinson out front, Kevin Cantonio in chase. This battle is tight for the lead, and one of the best battles on the racetrack. Adam Novotny also in a very tight battle. He is trying to run down Emmett Lindquist. I think he's going to probably get that P5, as Emmett, I believe, is going to lose. It might, maybe not. I didn't see it, and I haven't heard anything from race control yet. He should be checking up on that at race control now. Adam, just 0.7 of a second. Richard, 0.7 back from him. Ryan Fry, just under a second behind Greg Prochnow. Right behind these guys. And that's Rick Wishon, just a second behind him. So everybody's close. Nobody's making a lot of gains. Richard Hibbs has moved past Alex Good, and he is now on the bumper of Michael Mooney. Trying to get by for P12. Now these spots right here, they don't get points. Only the top 5 are going to have points in this race. So right now, Kyle, Kevin, Brandon, Josh, and Emmett are looking at the points at the moment. The difference here is where are you going to end this race is going to say where you're going to start the next one. As Alex Good and Michael Mooney both spin. Coming around that corner there, that is turn 5, the long sweeper. As those guys get back going again, and jump back up to live with Josh in P4. Josh Bailing second in points right now to Brandon Dooley, and that's Brandon right in front of him.
Car 40 drive-through contact with car number 2, lap 3.
And there it is. There is. There
Sorry
is
about that.
There's the penalty. And he's pulling in right now. Emmett Lindquist coming into pit lane right now, doing his drive-through. That'll be a drive-through, no stop. So he's going to lose about 30 seconds on that one, and he'll lose the positions. As Kyle stays out front. Now remember, getting out front here does get you the most points. You get 100 points. You get 100 points for first place in the sprint. Desperados 986. Sorry, I'm not too good on my German or whatever Slavic language that is. But thanks for showing up. I'll translate it later and hope it's clean. Yeah, Tyler, I figured that was you over there in Vortex, man. I told you these guys were quicker. But so glad you were able to run with us in the JNR race and have some fun. So, but yeah, Rich, I think you're right, Morgan. I think Rich was definitely losing some oil. Definitely having some issues there. The gap right now pretty tight everywhere. About the same, similar gap, about a second for all these drivers right now. But Rick Wishon in the Porsche trying to run down Ryan Fry here for P8. This is the transfer spot, so they're on lap 5 of 9, and this spot is the most important spot on the racetrack for those not in the top 5. Top 5 get points, 100 points for first, 80, 60, 40, and down to 20 for fifth. No points for anybody after that, but P8 turns into P1. Top 8 are going to flip as the next race begins, so that's the spot you want. Ryan just ran the JNR Contender Series, the GT3 Contender Series. He was up front the whole race. 2 laps to go, had an issue, and ended up dropping out of the lead. Ryan definitely quick and can hang on to the front if he needs to. Not the easiest place to pass here. Very, very challenging to pass. The gap up front has closed up a little bit. Half a second now between the two up front, and they have a good 1.5 gap to third place Brandon Dooley. Brandon looking for some good solid points to try to keep himself in the lead of this championship. Kyle missed a few races, so he's back in third in the championship, but with a bunch of wins this season, he's going to try to keep himself in contention for the win. He does have quite a few points and missed quite a few races, so he'll be able to gain some more points almost every race that's left to go. I think he'll have one drop at the end of the season. East to West Racing coming to you live every Sunday night. Sometimes I'm here at the broadcast booth. Sometimes I'm actually good enough to race. Not tonight, though. This track has not been friendly to me. And here comes a little bobble through the chicane. You can see the advancements here. Kevin making a lunge for the front here. We'll see if he can get by as they go by the stripe one more time. This will be 3 to go. Kevin with a huge gain on that lap. Put it down to 1/10 of a second. We'll see if he tries anything into turn 1. Does not. These two Porsches just nose to tail as they're going around through on lap number 7. So Kyle out front, Kevin in second, Brandon third, Josh in fourth. Adam has now taken that spot in P5, but he's got a little gap, a little 3-second gap between him and Brandon there. Richard Wishon. Oh, and there's a problem. Oh, Kevin goes wide on turn 5, and that is going to let Kyle get away and Brandon close in a little bit. That was an advantage there for Kyle as Kevin slight bobble, and that's all it takes to get that half a second gap extra. And he is now almost a second to the good in the front as they're coming around to finish up lap number 7. Let's see if we can see where else anything's tight and going on. I've got a little battle here with the 74 of Rick Wishon. This is the one for P8 that we talked about a minute ago. Ryan Fry trying to hold on to it. Rick trying to steal it from him. P8 flips to P1 in the start of the feature race. So these guys are going to go all out trying to get this spot. Ryan trying to hold it. Rick trying to steal it. Everywhere else on the racetrack, the action's pretty well spread out. Not by a lot, just a second or so. But these guys down to 2/10 as they go through the chicane and coming across, getting ready to go across the stripe here with 2 to go. Oh, a good run down the inside. Oh, and Ryan going in the pit lane. Ryan drops into the pit lane. I did not see why he would go into the pit lane. But Ryan pulls in. Hopefully he didn't miss the line and have to do a stop and hold or a second run for missing that, but I'm not sure why he went in there. But Ryan drops out of P8. He will not have the pole. Rick Wishon, if he can hold off Rich Hibbs, will have the pole. Rich, with his car that definitely needs some attention on the front, up to P9, so that's going to be a great starting spot from having that incident early on. But if he somehow can catch Rick Wishon, he can take that P8 away, but I don't know if he's got that in him. And he also has his own problem with Emmett Lindquist on his bumper, as Emmett has gone in for his drive-through, put him back in 10th spot. But Rich, with the damage, I think will come as a victim to Emmett Lindquist, and that's going to be for P9. Not going to make a huge difference on the race for them because P9 and P10 will stay in that order as they start the feature race. Only the top 8 will flip. Kyle Robinson still holding off Kevin Cantonio here up in the front. 0.5 of a second is the gap right now. Kevin pushing hard, trying to close that gap and get that spot away, trying to take away that 100 points from Kyle Robinson. As they go around the final corner, this will be the final race, the final lap of the race. Kyle goes across the stripe, takes the white flag. There's Bernie in the stand, throwing the flags down. We've got Kyle, Kevin, and Brandon across the stripe in first, second, and third. Kyle holding on to the top spot. Ryan has dropped back into 13th. I'm still not sure why he went in. Maybe he misfueled the car. But he is back in 13th spot, holding off Michael Mooney here. Trying to finish this one up so he can have a decent start on the next one. Looks like we're down to 15 drivers on the racetrack. Down the long straight, down the big old hill here. Hard on the brakes. Into turn 6, Kyle and Emmett. Kyle and Kevin, nose to tail. Rich Hibbs has closed the gap to 8th. I don't think he's got enough, but he has closed that gap. But Emmett is going to try to take away that spot, that P9 spot, and he just does right there in turn 6. Rich holding on around on the outside of that corner, takes the inside of the next one. As they battle on the final lap, looks like Emmett's got the control. No damage to Emmett's car, just a penalty early on. And Emmett's going to take that spot away. Back to the nose here. We've got Kyle Robinson out front around the final corner. Here they go as they cross the stripe. Kevin Cantonio not able to get by him. Rich Hibbs has retaken P9. As I don't know what happened to Emmett. Oh, Emmett? No, Emmett's up there. We'll watch when they go across the stripe. This will all change. Looks like Emmett has taken the spot away from Rick Wishon. Emmett will start in P8, so that pass on Rich Hibbs was huge as they crossed the stripe. There it is. There's the correction. Emmett Lindquist into P8. Rick Wishon into P9. So Emmett, with his issue early on, does the drive-through and wins the trifecta here as he gets to take the top spot on the feature race. Thank you, Morgan, for policing for me. I'm not sure.
I've got a 3-minute warm-up. Make sure that you have tried the pit entry. It is a little tricky. Other than that, yeah, great race.
All right, Emmett Lindquist will be starting on the... I need to look and see what's going on here. I was kind of watching something else and missed that one. Kyle Robinson takes the win, followed by Kevin Cantonio. Brandon Dooley in third. Josh Bailing in fourth. Adam Novotny in fifth, followed by Richard Wishon, Greg Prochnow, and Emmett Lindquist are going to be your order. So that puts Emmett and Greg on the front row, Richard and Adam on row 2, Josh and Brandon row 3, and Kevin and Kyle on row 4. That's the flip top 8. So Kyle and Kevin going to be coming back, and they're going to have to get by some very fast drivers to get back up there. Rick Wishon, Richard Hibbs. Now, Rich is pretty quick. He is going to be starting in P10 with that damaged car, managed to get himself back up to 10th position. Jason Rabe, with his incident with the number 40, he's going to be starting in P11 alongside of Ryan Fry, who I can only assume had an issue with fuel. And then Michael Mooney is going to be starting in P13 alongside of Alex Good. Gray Welch, if he joins the racetrack, will be in 15th. I don't know if he's out there. Good to have Tyler back with us. Good race last race with him over in the JNR Craftworks Contender Series. A lot of fun to have some super tight racing up front in that one. 3 or 4 drivers just right nose to tail throughout the race. And we'll see how those guys do that are here. Looks like a couple drivers have transferred in. Alex Good, Michael Mooney, Rick Wishon, Jason, and Ryan Fry were in the other race. 33 seconds left in our warm-up session. Just giving these guys a minute to get out on the racetrack and stretch their legs a little bit. Give me a chance to catch my breath. And we're all wondering the same question, Anson and Sony Recon. We're all wondering that same question. Morgan, where you been?
I will be gridding up. Nothing. No response on where Morgan has been. We'll see if he lets us know what's been going on in the world. I know he's been doing some traveling, a little bit of adventuring, and we're going to line him up here and get him started. We're ready to go here. Let's see what is going on. Our front runner, Emmett Lindquist, getting ready to go, waiting for the few more cars to grid. I think we're getting pretty close. I don't see anybody left. All right, let's have the next team race, guys.
There's Bernie in the tower getting his flag ready. And we are ready to go. Lights are red. Lights are green as they take off. A really good start for Greg Prochnow. We'll see if he can make that work. Emmett Lindquist taking the point down into turn 1. Richard Wishon's going to get the corner, though. Richard in second spot. Adam Novotny around the outside. But Richard's going to hold on to P2. Josh Bailing jumping right into the action, up into P4, going around Greg Prochnow right now into turn 3. But Emmett is rocking, man. Emmett has rocketed out front. He's very quick. He is out in the front of the point right now. He's going to be able to take this and see how he does. Tyler has jumped into the race as well. Tyler Greger onto the racetrack. Started from the pits, missed the sprint race. But Tyler back on the racetrack. On the beach. That is so awesome, man. I wish I was there myself. I was just spending a little quality time in the mountains. Oh, we got some action in the back. That's Greg Prochnow. And he has gotten in contact with Kyle Robinson, the race winner from the last race. Let's see if we can catch out what happened there. Looks like Brandon's going to get by here on the entrance of 6. Kyle trying to dive through. Greg doesn't know he's there. Cuts the corner, runs into him. Oh, and then to boot, we're going to have Kevin Cantonio tap him as well, as these guys now have to get things back running in the right direction again. As that is going to hurt Kyle Robinson back to P15. Up front, the number 40, Emmett Lindquist, really out in the front right now, and he doesn't have a whole lot of chasers that were quicker than him in the sprint. But Richard Wishon staying within a second. Adam Novotny right there in third. You can see them all coming across the stripe here. Josh Bailing, followed by Brandon Dooley. This run is a tight one, as we have the top 5 right together, only 3 seconds separating the top 5, and these guys all want this win. Emmett trying to gain points and move up through the field on the standings. Richard Wishon, always a tough competitor. Adam Novotny came in, missed a few races, but always fast. Really fun to watch him. Josh Bailing shooting for the championship right now in P2, right ahead of Brandon Dooley, who's in 5th. Still just 3 seconds separate the top 5 as we go around down the hill on lap number 2. And the battles are close. We're going to take a peek back here to Rich Hibbs, who has gotten around Jason Rabe here. And Rich, after his incident now, the front end of that car looks a lot better this time, Rich. As he's going around right now around turn 8. Turn 8's flat out. These guys are flying out there. And they are trying to catch up with Kevin Cantonio. I don't know if that damage Kevin got is going to make any difference. Oh, saw a car get loose back there. That may have been Ryan Fry, a little squirrely in the back there. They have, looks like he's collected that again. And trying to chase down Rick Wishon. Let's go through the field here with lap number 3 just getting started. Looks like calling that a racing incident maybe, or just investigating, didn't hear all that. Emmett Lindquist out front, followed by Richard Wishon on the 974 and the Audi. Quickest running Audi here on the racetrack. I think he's the only Audi out here on the racetrack. Adam Novotny in the 326. He's running the BMW. Emmett's out front in that Porsche. So not all the brands, but quite a few brands represented here. Josh in the number 1 car. He is in P4, and he's running that yellow Porsche, that yellow and green Porsche. And Brandon on his tail in the number 14 BMW, that black and green, purple, gray, multicolored DRS Sim Sport BMW. Kevin Cantonio, doesn't look like any damage happened there, as the number 5 is caught up to the back of this group, and he is pushing to try to get up into that top 5. Rich Hibbs in the number 15, looking good here in 7th spot. He is staying in front of Jason Rabe. Oh, he goes a little wide there. That's going to give Jason a chance to get him here. That is not a good spot to do that, but coming down into the chicane. He's pushing hard, stays out in front. Should be able to hold on to that spot. Jason Rave, number 2. Teammates with the number 1, Josh Baling, in Porsche, similar colored cars. Running hard on the racetrack in 8th position. Rick Wishon, the 74, in the Porsche, black and green.
Very typical 212, drive through contact, lap 1.
212, that is Greg Prochnow. That was the ruling. Greg Prochnow now doing his drive-through for incident on lap 2. That was, I believe, the incident with the number 28, Kyle Robinson. Put him way back in the pack. I'm not sure if Kyle's gone in. Let's take a peek at Kyle and see what he's up to. He didn't go through the pits. He does have a little bit of damage on the nose of that car, but still out there clicking off the laps. Kyle's fastest lap, 141.5, as we're working lap number 4. He's starting to catch up to the back of the group. Currently in P14. Greg Prochnow finished his lap, came out in front of Tyler. Tyler Greger, winner of our race last session over in the JNR Craftworks Contender Series. Just getting back on the racetrack a little bit late. Started from the pit lane, and as Greg gets by him after his drive-through. This battle for second kind of heating up here as Mooney and he is going in the pits. Oh, there it is. He goes off the racetrack. Comes back on right behind. It's right behind Alex Good, and then Mooney just turns into the pit lane. Not sure what's going on there. Puts Kyle right to the back of this pack up to P13, and he's got Alex Good in the sights. Emmett stretching the lead. Adam, I missed the pass for Adam. I missed that. It was a couple laps ago. But Emmett way out front now. 2.5 second gap over Adam Novotny. That looks more than 2.5 seconds, but that's what it's telling me on the screen. Emmett out front. Adam has gotten by Richard Wishon, 4-second spot. And now Richard under fire here from Josh Baling. That will be for P3. Richard trying to hold him off. Josh looking on the inside as they come down into the hairpin. Sure where he's losing time, but he's got a bundle behind him. Brandon Dooley has now caught the tail end of Josh Baling, and this pack right here, these 4 drivers all battling for the 3rd position, and I'm pretty sure from what I know about physics, only one of them can take it. And there goes a dive from the number 5 down inside. Is that going to be Yes, it is. That was contact. It looked like maybe a little dive bomb there. We'll see what happens with that one, but he is on the inside. Brandon takes the corner as usual. A little tap there from the number 5. That's Kevin Cantonio taking the points leader back a spot or 2 as Brandon gets put back together there. Loses a couple of spots. Now back to 6th position behind Rich Hibbs. Did give the spot back, so not sure how that's going to play out in race control. We'll have to see as we go back to live. And these guys back in line. Richard Wishon still up there in the 3rd spot. He has got a little bit of relief now as he's only got 1 guy in the rearview mirror as the rest of them have backed off a few seconds. But he still has Josh Bailey in the mirror as this battle for 3rd, right behind 2nd place Adam Novotny. All these guys right together, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kyle Robinson has caught up to the back of Gray Welsh. And Kevin Cantonio goes by Rick Wishon there. We'll see if Kevin has to do a drive-through on his incident early, but definitely has some speed today and cutting into these corners. Okay, that's Rick going wide and Kevin just taking him as they go around turn, that was turn 10. Kyle has got by Gray Welch. Let's see if we can catch that. Makes a move to the outside and then down to the inside. Hard braking into the corner. That's the final corner of the racetrack. Kyle, what a great move. And gets by. And that is for P11. Kyle trying to get back up through the field from that incident early on. Emmett Lindquist out front. We've still got almost 29 minutes here in the race. Lap 7 of 23. They're going to have to make a pit stop and get some go-go juice. They can't make it all the way on the fuel that they got in the car. So we'll see where that plays out, as some of these drivers are going to have to be coming in somewhere in the next 10 and probably 8 laps. They'll be coming in to get their fuel. Kyle using every inch of the racetrack, trying to catch back up to the field. He's got Ryan Fry in front of him, but it's a 7-second gap. We'll see how quickly Kyle can cut that down and see if he can get anywhere. Meanwhile, Ryan battling here with Rick Wishon. Ryan has caught him now just 4/10 back, and that is for P9 in this race. Kevin Cantonio has just made another pass, or trying to, on Jason Rabe. This battle here, oh, as Kevin goes to the inside, he looks like he's got the spot here as they go into the front stretch. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened here. Kevin right behind. This here is the battle for 7th. Going through the chicane. Jason looks like he misses the second half of the chicane there. And that allows Kevin to get by on the inside of turn. That's going to be turn 14 and then take it on the hairpin of 15, taking that position away. And that is for P7 as Kevin coming back up through the field. Back to live. Rich up to 5th. He's being followed by Brandon Dooley and Kevin Cantonio. Kevin is just carving through the field right now. He's just getting through them all. Now, he had a problem last time as he was trying to get by Brandon, and that didn't go so well. He kind of nosed in on the corner there, and Brandon just had the corner position and took it from him. Kevin did not back off, and that caused an incident. He did have to give the position back, but Brandon did lose some spots. Rich Hibbs right now holding on to P5. These 3 behind him all wanting to take it from him. And that chicane causing problems again. Kevin going to try to take advantage again of that little bobble there from Brandon Dooley across the chicane. Right now, though, Brandon's still holding on as he's got a line coming out of turn 15. He's got to run. Will he be able to get alongside of Rich Hibbs as they go down the line? Rich defends. Brandon tries to peek inside. No room. We'll wait for a better opportunity, but that slight bobble there is all it takes for these guys to make a pass right now, right together here. 5, 6, and 7, and 8 as Jason Rabe wants his piece of this puzzle, or pie, or whatever we got out there. And it is tight here for the 5th position. Now Brandon wants all the points he can get here as he is our current points leader. Josh, a couple spots in front of him. I'm sure Brandon would love to be able to catch up with him here. But Kevin Cantonio seems to be the quickest car in this little pack. It's Kevin peeking around the outside. Brandon doing a little defense there on the inside. Kevin down in the inside, does not try to outbrake this time and stays in line as Brandon with a great exit there. Will he be able to get him? No, actually Rich had the better exit. Brandon defending a little bit, loses a little bit of time, and that allows Kevin to move in close. And this battle for 5th is unbelievable. Oh, and there goes Rich. Rich spins in the BMW. Does he hang on to it, stay off the racetrack? He does. And that lets Brandon go by. That lets Brandon take away P5. Brandon wide on that corner. But he lets Kevin Cantonio, Jason Rabe, Wick, Rishon, and Ryan Fry all go by. Rich drops back to P10. That battle just too tight. And Rich with a little spin on his own. No contact, just a spin on his own. But, oh, and there goes... Oh, I hope he made that corner right. Oh, it looks like he did not. That might be curtains for Kevin. He might have a black flag with that one. Let's watch that one as he comes into the pit lane. He misses that. Let's see when he dives into the pit lane here. Going a little too quick and does not make the corner on the pit lane. And that is a 15-second hold if you miss this entry. And he looks like he goes off the racetrack. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. He might have to do another one. Rich Hibbs has also come in the pit lane. It's Kevin back on the run. Out front, Emmett Lindquist in the number 40. 2.5 seconds, just over 2 seconds. Back to Adam Novotny in second spot. Adam pushing hard, running some great laps. Adam's top lap 140.9, Emmett's 140.7, just 2/10 away on the top lap. Last lap 142.0 for Emmett, 142.4 for Adam. And these guys are a little bit light on fuel, and they may be taking tires. We'll have to see how that works out. But they're going to be light on fuel as the pit stop sequence has begun on lap 10 of 23. I really am curious as to Kevin here. I want to see if Kevin has to go around again and pull back in the pit lane. He's out of the pits, has come out of the pits in P11 and working pretty good here for after that pit stop. He's going to try to get some undercut going on, see if he can gain a couple more spots. He was in 6th position when he went in, dropped back to 11th, and I'm really curious to see if he missed that pit entrance. Is he going to be diving back in the pit lane again for a stop and go? That would have given him a black flag. We'll keep an eye on it here as he dives around. He does not take it this time, so that's not going to be the lap right now. And we have a very special guest joining us here in the booth as Kyle Robinson takes another spot away from Ryan Fry, moving up to P8. And who is here with us? Let's see if anybody can guess. Can anybody guess who's here?
They're there on the chat screen.
I know, they're right there, but they haven't talked for a little while. This is the infamous,
Infamous is a better word.
Dr. Todd. Dr. Todd, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm having a great time watching some of the best racing I've seen all day. It was much better than my version of this racetrack, which was not as exciting at all as these guys.
I'm kind of glad I missed this race. I'm just looking at the track and I'm saying to myself, you know, if there was a night that my wife said, "You're not going to race tonight," it was probably a good thing that it was this race.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Well, this battle here has been going on for laps and laps. We're on lap 11 of 23. Richard Wishon trying to hold off Josh Baling. Now, Josh is second in points, so Josh definitely wants this. And Rich Hibbs has gone to the pit lane.
And if I remember correctly, points in this series are a lot closer than they are in the Contender Series. Oh!
Let's see what happens to Rich. We'll go back. He loses a whole bunch of spots here. And he messes up. He spun earlier in this, in the same corner, spins again, and it looks like he's parking it. He didn't hit anything, but he just jumped right to the pits. And that's not how you do it, folks. You got to be able to keep it clean, stay on the racetrack. Brandon. It must be in the pits. Brandon is in the pits. Okay. He's like, man, Brandon dropped. Why did Brandon drop? He was in 4th. What happened? What happened? What's going on? What's going on? Okay, Emmett out front. 2 seconds lead over Adam Novotny. Adam flying tonight on this racetrack. Just throwing the laps down. Richard Wishon in 3rd in the 974 in that familiar Audi. He is being tailed. Just like mirrored, shadowed, almost copied by 4th place Porsche of Josh Baling. Jason Rabe has moved himself up into P5, couple of these front runners have already pit though, so he might have to drop those spots again. See if he can hold on. Jason running very quickly today, but not really in the contention for the top spot yet. We'll see what happens.
Pushing so hard to get through those turns, it's just right on the edge of being out of control.
Kevin gets around Brandon Dooley. Let's see if we can catch that. Kevin with a run off of turn 5, down the hill into the hairpin. He's alongside. He's got the right position.
Inside position. Yeah, that's textbook.
Brandon's going to let him go, see if he can get the over/under, but cannot do it. That is Kevin getting ahead. Now both of these guys have pit. Josh and Jason swap spots as Jason goes by and Josh pulls in.
Pit strategy plays such an important factor in all of these longer races. I mean, we call them longer races. They're longer for us.
Yeah, I mean, they're 45 minutes. It's a little longer.
Oh, my word.
They get close. They use all of it. They're using every ounce of the racetrack.
And a little bit more.
We allowed the limits to... we backed off on the limits today. Speaking with race control, and I said, you know what, let them race. So they're all pushing as hard as they possibly can. The racing is great out here. Adam Novotny in second spot, holding within 3 seconds of that lead. Adam's not been in a lot of the races. He's in 11th in points, but he's only made 6 of... It's 24 divided by 3. 8 of the races. He's made 8 of the races so far out of the 14 that we're on. Today is race 14.
I can't even hardly believe that.
I know, it's only 17 races long. There's only 4 more counting today. Only 4 more. Where are we at? Alex good. Greg Prochnow gets by. Alex, that's for P11. And that one is from Greg dropping back from an incident early on. Puts him back in the pack. He's pretty quick to back in 11th right now. Still no pit for our leader, Emmett Lindquist, or the top 3, Adam Novotny, Richard Wishon.
You think that there's something that Emmett knows about the way that his car is handling that's going to give him some extra speed? Or maybe he's just trying to stretch out his lead. He's not really getting much of an improvement on that gap. 2.3 seconds back.
Well, Emmett was the beneficiary of an incident that he was involved in that put him back to the back of the pack, and he battled back up to P8 in the sprint. So he was fast in the sprint. He just didn't have the position because he had to do a drive-through early on, putting him at the point on the pole, and no one's been able to catch him since. And Adam finished in the mid-pack on the first race, and he is now catching, holding on to that spot. Richard, same way. And the winners of the previous race, Kyle Robinson, Kevin Cantonio, still in 6th and 9th. They both have had issues in this race, and they are battling back. Kyle back up to P6, but a couple of cars that he was racing with have already pit. So Kyle's going to have a hard time. He did have a spin involving him and Greg Prochnow.
It's just a real testament to the quality of the racing and the quality of the racers that things stay so tight and it gets so hard to advance from positions in those first 10 spots.
The lap times, if you look at the fastest lap times, we've got 3 drivers in the 140s, 4 drivers in the 5 drivers in the 141s. Oh, and Brandon gets wide there. He loses a little bit, but he hangs on to it. What a massive save there.
Nice one. Well done.
Brandon may be thinking now he might have been better off getting tires on his pit stop. We'll see. Kyle Robinson getting by, Ryan Fry getting by, Jason Rabe, something's going on. And that's why, because Jason is in the pit lane. As we go back to Kyle, up to 4th now as the leaders are going in to get their fuel.
I'm just noticing, Ron, as I'm looking at the statistics, you get more viewers when you're broadcasting than when I'm in the broadcast booth with you. In fact, when I came in, we've dropped 2 concurrent viewers while I'm here.
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. And Alex, as we see Alex coming in the pit lane, Rick Wishon coming back out of pit lane, getting it going again. Greg Prochnow gets by him on the pit exit. You know, the way I see it, as Josh going by, he's going by
gonna
Mooney.
get it.
Mooney's a lap down. Josh gets a great run off that corner. He shouldn't have a problem here finishing that pass. And Josh
well done.
into P6 after his pit stop. All the guys in front of him have not yet pit. Ryan, Kyle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ryan, Kyle, Richard, Adam, and Emmett are yet to pit. So Josh.
So Josh may be in the best seat in the house right now.
He might have what you would call the catbird seat.
Yes.
Yeah, it might be. But we'll see. The lead out front is large. Looming large as we watch Adam Novotny pull into pit lane for his service. Emmett Lindquist has now come in for his service. And these guys are going to stop. He's getting tires. Emmett's getting tires. Richard Wishon has assumed the lead of this contest.
If Emmett's getting tires, that means that he's thinking to himself, he needs something special to hang on to for the end of this race. Still getting out in front of Adam. So did Adam get tires as well?
You know, at this point in the race, you've still got like 8 laps to go. I think the fuel and the tires take about the same amount of time. It might just take just a little bit longer to get the tires. But he managed to do it at the right timing. He's going for it.
And Josh Beeling
is right behind him there.
Yeah.
That's P3. He's only a couple seconds back. Josh came out in front of Adam Novotny with his stop. There he is. And Josh has his tires all warmed up. Now, it's possible Adam didn't take tires. And we're going to have to check. You know what? We can check. Someone has the ability to do this. See if he's smart enough to do it. That's the question. Is he smart enough to actually be able to do it? There it is.
Oh, look at that.
We need to move the overlay just a hair here so we can see the fastest lap time. But there it is. You can see the drivers that did get tired. Josh Bailey, Kevin Cantonio, Jason Rabe, Adam Novotny, Emmett Lindquist all got tires. It looks like they all got tires to me. We'll have to see. We'll let it go. If usually when there's two that's right, Brett. No one can handle the greatness of Dr. Todd. No one. No one. Man does not exist that can handle that. Richard Wishon coming out of the pit lane. Coming out of the pit lane as the leaders go by. Emmett Lindquist, Josh Bailey, Adam Novotny all get by Richard Wishon. Where is Kevin Cantonio going to land as they come out and get back on the racetrack? He is right behind Mooney. And he is behind Richard Wishon. So can Kevin get back up the front? He's been the fastest guy all night. Can he get back up there? Emmett Lindquist with a 140.7 as his fastest lap. Now that the pit stops are complete for everyone,
It's just insane.
we are back in order. And the lead, surprisingly, is back to 2.5 seconds. But he's over Josh now instead of over Adam. So here comes Kevin. He's going to get past lap traffic right here. Mooney's going to slow down. Let these go. Or not. I think he was trying to.
He was trying to let him around. It was just a bad. He was in a rough position. It wasn't able to move over to the right, so he moved to the left.
Well, let that go. So now Kevin in P5 trying to catch up with Richard Wishon. We'll see if Kevin can get back up in front. He was in second place in the race, in the sprint race. Kyle Robinson also moved up to 8th spot. He's got 5 seconds on Brandon Dooley. You know, if I was going to catch somebody and pass him, 5 seconds behind Brandon Dooley is not the goal I would like to set for myself.
Not with 6 laps left in the race. You've got to be a little bit closer than 5 seconds.
I think you're right. I think you might be right.
Especially where Brandon's throwing down a 141.1. There's not enough difference between those two for him to have any confidence.
Yeah.
As long as Brandon races clean, I think it's going to be rough for him to catch up.
And that'll be a P7 for Brandon. Brandon was involved in a little incident early on. Was able to keep going, I think. Yeah, everybody's taken tires. If you look at the chart here, everyone has taken tires. Kevin has the oldest tires on the racetrack right now. if they do wear out, but he will still have a reasonable amount of tire there. Unless 10 is all they go. Ryan Fry gets by Rick Wishon. That battle has been going on all race long. Let's see if we can catch it.
He's got a long way to go. Kevin Cantonio's got a 2-second gap to Richard Wishon.
And I think that's a slowdown. That might be a slowdown penalty for Rick Wishon. Ryan gets a run off that final corner. Coming by as they cross the line, starting lap 18. Ryan takes that spot away.
Oh my word.
Where were we at? Emmett? Where were you at? Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, you're fine. I was looking at Kevin Cantonio. He's got a 2.2-second gap to Richard Wishon, and even though he's running a 140, he's about a half a second faster per lap. He just doesn't seem to have enough time to close that down.
Look at the last lap, though. That was Richard coming out of the pits. 146.7. Kevin at a 141.9.
Wow.
So he's really kicking off the lap here. Kevin's really cooking. We'll see if he can gain anything. He might be able to catch a P4 out of this. But I think he's looking for the podium. He wants the podium. I don't think he'll set it for anything less.
You know, with a total of about 2.4 seconds back, if he can stitch that together, I think he's got a shot at it.
It's possible.
I'm not throwing down Vegas money on that, but but I might throw down Poconos money on that. So.
You and I don't have Vegas money. I've known you for a while, Doc.
Well, yeah, it's all gone to the education. Is where it's all gone.
We don't have Vegas money. Talk to us in about 10 years. We'll see what we got. We'll see
We
if
might have
still
Wendover money.
Yeah, we might have Wendover money. Have mini Vegas money. We'll see.
Mini Vegas.
Yeah. So out in front, Emmett Lindquist has the lead. Josh Bailing in second. We're counting down the laps. They're getting there. Josh really wanting to finish this off in second spot, or even better, because he is in second place in the points and he wants all he can get. He is point hungry tonight. And if you didn't know, if it wasn't also part of the fun, DRS SimSport, which is Brandon Dooley and Kyle Robinson, their team their team is battling with Dad Bod Racing for the team championship. The gap is about 600 points.
Wow.
So, and if you get 350 for a win, 320 for second, it makes a huge difference because Josh can get a lot more points here, and his teammate Jason in sixth spot. Now, Jason does have a penalty coming. That's going to affect his personal time and personal points in this race. He's going to lose a few points after this for something that happened previously in the race. But his team is going to need all those points to be able to keep up. And they have a chance now to make some gains on DRS SimSport in this one.
Richard Wishon coming up on Adam Novotny. Looks like he's really trying to make a move on him. The gap is under a second, and he's right on his tail.
And look who's right in the mirror.
Oh, my word.
That's Kevin.
That's Kevin Cantonio.
I think that may be why Richard picked it up a notch, because he sees Kevin coming. Now, Adam was running some great laps early on. Adams, let's see if we can catch the last lap. Emmett with a 141.9. Josh 141.8. Adam 141.9. Richard 141.8. Kevin 141.0. Jason 141.7. Everybody's running basically qualifying laps.
Is he going to make that? He's looking like
defending on the inside. He's got the corner. Oh, and he holds on. Oh, not enough through the hairpin. He's trying to make it go around the hard way. Do it the hard way. This corner here flat out, and then they're going to have to hit the brakes as they go into turn 9. This is a tight corner here. This is 8, and then down into 9. They're hard on the brakes. And then into 10, and then down into the hairpin. I've seen that hairpin throw the cars a couple times tonight.
We have seen him.
And we'll see if it affects Adam here or not. Richard putting on all kinds of pressure. Both of them clean through there today. Through that chicane.
Nice move through the chicane. Coming around.
Kevin still right there, right behind him. But man, that is close. There he goes. He's going down on the inside into turn 15. On the hairpin, he's trying it around the inside. Can he make it stick?
Not quite.
Adam with the good run, but look at this run. He's got to run. He's got some draft. He's got to run coming up front stretch.
Adam right in the middle.
Adam taking the outside line. He's not going to give him any room here.
That's a good defense, and it's a legal defense. He's just driving his own line. He's not moving out of the way to try and block him. Good racing by Adam, and great racing by Richard, being able to stay right there with him.
Right on his
And,
bumper.
and
now,
look at Kevin Cantonio.
Now it's a three-way
Now it's a three-way.
battle. Three-way battle for the podium. This is for the podium.
You know, Kevin being back there in that back position, if he can close up a little closer, he might get the benefit of the draft.
Look at this! Look at this! He gets around alongside of Richard, coming around turn 5. They're going to go down the hill straight away, side by side into 6. And
he's going to make that stick. He's got the advantage. He's got it.
Kevin outbreaks him, takes away P5. Or P4. That's
P4.
P4. Now he's going to be after Adam in front of him. I think Adam was a little happier with Richard behind him. What do you think?
I think if I were Adam, I'd be happier with Richard behind me.
Well, this is some great racing action here. We've got just 2 laps to go as they cross the line. And the battle for third is definitely on fire.
Looks like Richard has decided to let Kevin and Adam duel it out. Maybe he's hoping that the two of them are gonna just both make a mistake, and he's gonna benefit from that.
That's possible, very possible.
Watching them as they come down through 15, hairpin turn into the start-finish stretch. Kevin right there with a good run. He's got the draft behind Adam, trying to make a move. Just can't quite make it stick. Oh, but he's coming around the outside, and it looks like he is going to get it.
Inside into 10.
Nice.
Or inside into 2, turn 2.
Nice, and there it is. And look who just popped right back into Adam's rearview mirror. Richard says, "Oh, well, I think I will have some of this after all." Oh, but Adam's not done. He's trying, oh, little wiggle, trying to get around him. And Richard gets around Adam. But Adam is not letting that go without being challenged. Side by side, racing down. But Richard's going to keep it.
That's the hairpin. Adam's going to have to do an over-under here. He tries. You can see he was trying, but didn't quite have it. And Kyle Robinson also getting by his teammate here as they come down into 6. Kyle with a run down the hill using the draft. Goes down on the inside of Brandon, and he has definitely got the corner here.
Oh, wow. Nicely done.
Kyle makes a pass, and I'll tell you what, with 2 to go, and the championship right there, that is championship points on the line.
Such good racing. You know, a real testament to the fact that these races are not necessarily won by the fastest driver. I mean, you have to be fast. But if you're fast but impatient, you can wind up causing yourself tremendous difficulty. If you're fast and you're patient, you put yourself in a position where you can sometimes benefit right toward the end of the race.
1 lap to go. Bernie's waving the white flag as he's standing there in the flag stand. Emmett Lindquist, 2.2 seconds over Josh Bailey. Looks like Emmett might be able to hang on to this unless he has an error here. He's got decent tires. Josh's tires are a little older. Kevin has moved into 3rd. I don't think he's got a chance to catch him, but he's already put himself a couple seconds ahead of P4 with Richard Wishart.
Goodness.
And it looks to me like Adam Novotny was the one that took the pounding on that one as he went from 3rd to 5th in that last exchange. On the final lap of the race, we have the leader, Emmett Lindquist, still out front as he goes down through the hairpin in turn 6 through Dry Sack Corner. You know, you gotta have some creative names, you know. Dry Sack.
As opposed to Wet Sack?
I suppose. As we're going through turn 8 now, and it looks like Emmett is his race to lose at this point. Up front, 2 seconds the lead, coming around turn 10, and now into the chicane as he is going to finish this one right where he's at. Unless he errors this, unless he really throws this one away.
Yeah, my money's not on that.
Emmett running a great race, started on point after that incident in the sprint, managed to get himself up to P8 and took advantage of that reverse positions, and no one could catch him. Josh Bailey comes across the line in 2nd position.
Looking good.
Getting some great points for him for the championship. There's Bernie throwing that checkered flag. Kevin Cantonio, what a drive. Come back up through the field in there for P3.
And look at Kyle Robinson waiting till the very end to throw down the fastest lap of the race at 1:40 with 6. Well done. Some really good racing. Hey, I was glad I was able to get here for last half of that.
Me too. Me too. All right, let's see if we can go back to the to the race, to the whatever this is over here.
The stream?
I don't know what it is. No, the lobby.
Okay.
The lobby.
The lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Emmett's down in JNR. We'll see if we can catch him. Emmett Lindquist with the win. Emmett, are you there?
I am here.
Well done, Emmett. Well done.
Out front
Well,
and
thank
never
you.
giving it up, man.
You know, I don't really think I had the pace initially, but after the sprint race, I kind of gained up some confidence, and fortunately was able to steal that invert spot to put me on pole, and got to watch everyone fight in the mirrors, and just kind of kept a nice 2-second gap, and prayed nobody would be able to close down that 2 seconds. So
Yeah, you were hanging on 2 seconds with almost every challenger you had was 2 seconds behind you, and you managed to hang on. Good job, man. Nice race.
thank you.
I don't see the rest of them in the lobbies.
They've already gone to find the champagne.
Probably.
Yeah.
So he's
yeah.
up on the podium, you know. Finished Josh Baling in second, Kevin Cantonio in third. Here's Kevin. Kevin pulled off a P3 with that one. Little contact there through the race, but you managed to let everybody back by. Didn't gather up the penalty and kept going. Really fast tonight out there tonight, Kevin. It was good to watch you running through the field. You got a lot of airtime, by the way.
Really? Yeah, I'm sorry about those two. I think they're on me. I tried to give the positions back. Maybe I shouldn't. I feel like it caused more problems behind me. Kind of like just stopping to let them get in the position back. But yeah, I'm sorry to those two, Brandon and Rick. It's my fault. But
Is it
yeah,
good?
I went for the undercut and actually ended up working. So
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. It was a good race all around. Great action throughout. Emmett takes the win. Josh in second. Kevin in third. Richard takes P4 with a huge battle there between Kevin, Richard, and Adam right there at the line. Richard, nice job. I don't know if you're out here or not, but great job on that. Grabbing P4. You and Adam battling back and forth lap after lap.
It was tough. I took tires, and I'm not sure if Adam did or not. I think I had an advantage on the side that was fresh. So
It looked to me like everyone took tires. I've got the tire chart out here on the stream, and it looked to me like everybody did. So I think it was I think that was the way to go tonight. So great race, everybody. Thanks for putting on a great show. Appreciate you guys being out there racing, and hope everybody enjoys the replay. We did have quite a few race fans out there watching us tonight. So we will be on the air again live next Sunday, and we'll have our simulcast on Thursday night. As always, don't race on the road. Race right here with us at E2WR Racing. As you can see, great racing action all night long. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good one. Later, Ron.
All right. Later.